right, folks, welcome to Johnson Cast 485. Today we are talking about Old Man Johnson's brand new song, I Found a Dime. Gentlemen, welcome back. It's been a hot minute since we did the last Johnson Cast. How are you?
Fantastic.
I have been better.
I've had diarrhea. So let's why don't we just jump right into the song, give it a quick listen, and then we can talk about some of the song. It's available on Spotify for everyone to listen. Do we need any lead up, or should we just jump right into I Found a Dime?
It's also on some other stuff eventually, but Spotify definitely right now.
Oh yeah, sorry, Spotify for sure, and then anywhere you stream music, you'll be able to find it. Here we go. I Found a Dime. We're going to listen to the first verse and chorus. Here we go. Oh, why don't we do that from the beginning? Here we go.
About a year ago, and we are cleaning her house out, and I bet the dime has been there so long with me. And Mike picked up the couch, I saw the shiny coin drop out. Right now it's worth at least 10 cents, but can you try to figure out all the stuff that you could buy way back then? Now than it was way back when it was lost. I am sure it was missed, just like the time when I, just like the time when I lost, just like the time when I lost my checkbook.
Nice. Let's stop it right there. Let's talk about this song, Danny. Why don't we talk a little bit about the history of the song I Found a Dime, and then we can jump into the lyrics on the verse and the chorus.
Yeah, so right around the time we were trying to write a bunch of songs for Old Man Johnson.
What year?
I have no idea.
2011, 2010?
No, we wrote this way before that, I think.
When did your grandma pass away?
I don't know.
Nice.
Maybe do the Return to Rock show. That was like 2000.
But we had written it well before that.
We'd written it well before that, but yeah, so we were in fact cleaning out my grandma's house after she had died, and me and my brother picked up the couch that we were moving out to the garage, and this dime fell out. And I picked it up and I looked at the date, and it was like from 1948 or something like that. And I thought, man, that dime's probably been there since 1948, which I didn't, it could have gone there anytime. But I just thought about how maybe back then when dimes were worth more, it would have been harder for someone to lose, and they would have actually missed it more than how we just can basically throw away a dime. So that's kind of where it all started.
Yeah. I actually for some reason, I remember I knew your grandma. Like, we had been hanging out for a couple years, and I knew your grandma. Your family was pretty tight and close. And I remember when she had passed away, and I remember you had gone to help clean the house out. And I remember when you wrote the lyrics, I found a dime wedged between the cushions in my grandma's couch. You talk about how you and Mike picked up the couch. I thought it was Mike Lomax.
So did I.
I thought it was Mike for.
I was like, oh, he wrote me into
years.
a song.
And I'm like, I didn't know Mike went and helped Danny clean out his grandma's house, forgetting that your brother is named Mike.
Oh, right.
So
yeah. It was actually my brother Mike. So
not me.
Sorry, Mike.
Well, I've always liked
Mike did earn a place in Unemployed.
Oh, that's right.
So
thanks, Danny.
The thing I've always liked about this song lyrically, I think it's really interesting and clever. It's talking about, we're talking about the value of a dime, And most things over time, treasure, gains in value. But the thing about, money, it actually decreases in value over time. And we liken that kind of like to a grandma, not necessarily your grandma, but like people as they get older start to, lose value in society, maybe, or at least that's how it's perceived sometimes. And I always thought that was a really interesting lineup of that. So why don't we let's dive into the lyrics just on the verse, and we could talk about those. So here's the verse to dive.
In my grandma's, a dime wedged between.
Oh, they come with that.
I found a dime wedged between the cushions in my grandma's couch. She died about a year ago, and we are cleaning her house out. And I bet the dime has been there so long with me. And Mike picked up the couch. I saw the shiny coin drop out. Right now, it's worth at least 10 cents. But can you try to figure out all the stuff that you could buy way back then?
It's like it's just telling exactly what happened. That's all the lyrics are. It's like there's no metaphor to it so far. Well, I guess there is, like later on you find it out, but really those first two verses are just saying what happened.
And you're
the funny thing about that part with my name in it is that as a drummer who doesn't sing, I don't know what you guys are singing about until I really get a chance to sit down and hear a recording or something. So it was much, much later that I actually found out that, oh, my name's in there. And then even much, much later that I asked Danny about it to find out it indeed is not me in the song. So
I like this last line that leads in the chorus. Here it is.
Try to figure out all the stuff that you could buy way back then.
Try to figure out all the stuff that you could buy way back then. There's like
all your English,
there's like zero poetry so far.
All the English teachers you ever had said, "Don't ever write stuff in anything."
Threw that right out the window. Embraced it.
And then we hit the chorus. Let's listen to this chorus.
I found a dime in a couch's crack. It's worthless right now than it was way back.
Can I just say I found a dime in a couch's crack. I love singing that every time. I don't know why it sounds like it's quasi dirty, but it's just like, I found a dime in a couch's crack.
Yeah, it's like everybody knows, like no one has ever said that besides us. No one's ever said that, but
like I found a dime in the cushion. I found a dime under the cushion. Or I found a dime in the couch. Like the couch is crack.
I showed this song to one of my coworkers. Just tell them that we're about to release it, and he loved that line. Like he's like, every time you guys write some lyrics, it's like you say things in just a little bit different of a way than anyone else will.
In a way that, like,
was that a compliment or was that
it
was
really
really trying to say?
He was saying, I think I took it as a compliment, at least.
Let's hear the rest. Let's hear the rest of that chorus. Here's the rest. Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Dan.
And I wonder how we came up with that. It's probably just because we wanted to say way back and we were trying to think of something to rhyme with way back.
I'm sure.
But
or did couch's crack come first? Because the alliteration is like really nice.
Yeah, it is.
All right, here's the rest. Speaking of way back, it goes like this.
When it was lost, I am sure it was missed. Just like the time when just like the time when I lost, just like the time when I lost my checkbook.
Okay, just like the time when I lost my checkbook. I still laugh at that line because one, it's totally irrelevant now. Like to a new generation, that means nothing. But two, it's like, yeah, that kind of would be like, oh, I lost a dime. It would be just like, oh man, I just lost my checkbook. I just lost access to my bank account. I just think it's funny. Like
I remember writing that line too, because we were writing it together and we were thinking, what would be like something really important that you could lose?
a
And
financial instrument
Jordan-
that would suck to lose.
Yeah.
Hey, I have a picture of when this event actually happened. I'll see if I can get it to show up here.
Oh, yep.
There it is.
That's it.
Archie?
Thanks AI for some
Yeah.
fun pictures.
So that's kind of the context of this song. Speaking of which, sharing pictures, let's talk a little bit real quick before we get into the rest of the song. Let's talk about the artwork on this one. That might be something fun to talk about. Danny, you again did the artwork on this one, which was awesome. Oh, shoot, I just lost it all. Why don't you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah. So this one was, I don't know, being a graphic designer can be a difficult thing because you never know when inspiration is going to strike, and sometimes you just don't have an idea. And that happened during trying to think of something for this. I was like, what would I draw? Someone carrying a couch, which just sounded kind of dumb. But we ended up coming up with this this idea for just our heads on the coins. And so I had
I can't.
Jordan and Mike send me
It almost showed up. That was pretty
some
cool.
profiles of themselves, and I traced them on the computer and put together this fancy little cover. I was trying to make it look kind of like money, like money is fancy, so it's got those fancy borders and stuff, and trying to make it look old fashioned because this dime came from a long time ago. But there also is we have the year 2000 on there because that's when we became a band. And we almost didn't make it to the year 2000 because of Y2K.
Yeah.
So, but we're lucky we made it through. So, yep, there it is.
Me and Danny are both total profile shots, and yet Jordan managed to get both eyes in there.
Yeah.
Well, this is like one of those rare Lincoln pennies where it's like, is that a double eye Lincoln?
That's a double-eyed Olsen.
Is that a side-eye Lincoln? No, that's a side-eye Olsen, man. Rare. But yeah, Danny, the art on this one is awesome, man.
Fantastic.
I
So
love
good.
it.
Thank you.
The
I'm glad it came out because I was about ready to quit and just find something on AI, but
Oh man, I'm glad you did.
Yeah.
Can we just commit to not doing an AI album cover?
yeah, I think we should just commit. It would be better to do anything, in my opinion, than
Just take a picture of a dog jumping through
just
a
take
roof.
a picture of your foot.
Yeah. Like, this is the album cover for Dime. It's my foot.
Yeah. Anything.
Anyway, great album cover, man. That's a good one for this single. I love that Danny has been creating original artwork for each release as they've been coming along. I think it makes each one a little special. I would love to actually like do get a print of some of these ones for like Spider Bomb and Sucker for Your Love, and now I found a Dime. I'd love to like have them framed in my studio here. So it's awesome.
That'd be awesome.
That would be cool.
Let's get back into
Cool.
it. Sorry.
This
Go
is
ahead.
kind of off subject, but when we were first working on the first album, A Conversation with Tom Foolery, that was the first time I had ever seen Photoshop in Photoshop in use.
Yep,
We were in Jordan's bedroom.
that's right.
What in the world is this?
Man, that was old. That I had no idea what I was doing. I literally was going in with a mouse and zooming in on the image. I had to like cut us out and put a blue background, and I'm with my little clicker.
I remember. I
clicking
think
around.
we took turns filling in the blue pixels
Yep.
because like your arm would get so tired, so you had to do it one pixel at a time.
We spent because we had to do it a few times because we screwed it up a few times. And yeah, it took us a long time to do that cover for A Conversation with Tom Foolery. And now you could throw it into freaking Canva and say, remove the background.
Yeah.
It'd be gone just like that.
But I don't know. That was the first thing I tried on a computer to do, first time I tried doing graphic design, and it ended up becoming my career.
Isn't that weird?
All because of that. So it's pretty crazy.
Is that really your origin story with graphic design?
That's it.
Wow.
You know, what's funny. I mean, this is kind of on that same subject. A lot of my career has been based around, like, for a long time, I did web design professionally. I still to this day do a lot of advertising online and stuff. And it all came about from building websites in our first bands, like in Old Man Johnson and in my very first band, Ashburn Roads, having to learn how to create a website and how to do graphic design so I could make a website so that we could share music. Video editing, like my ability to do video editing and make commercials and stuff for my businesses and stuff, all came from making videos in the basement, like when we were challenging Orpheum to to a follow-up to our Battle of the Bands. Speaking of which, can we do we need an Orpheum update?
Yeah.
So I met this guy at one of my restaurants, and his name is Todd. And we got talking. He's come into the restaurant from time to time, and we get shooting the breeze. Come to find out, he's a musician. He's a concert promoter, all this kind of stuff. I'm like, oh, cool. I'm a musician too. We get talking. I tell him, yeah, my band's Old Man Johnson. Check us out. He goes to our Spotify page and is checking out our music and reads down through the biography, and he sees all of our biography about Orpheum. And just in case someone doesn't remember, I'll read it for you here. Our biography reads as such. Since the year 2000, Old Man Johnson has enjoyed the throne as East Layton's best band. In 2002, OMJ branched out to become the best band in Ogden, but took second place in the Battle of the Bands to Ogden legends Orpheum. The sting has never worn off, and the band has been planning their revenge for the past 22 years. That day of vengeance is now, as Old Man Johnson, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, so there's the story for Orpheum. Well, this guy reads it, and he's like, I know those guys from Orpheum. He's like close friends with one of the guys in Orpheum, one of the old guys in Orpheum. So he goes to him. He's like, hey, do you remember this band, Old Man Johnson? You guys are in their biography. And this guy's like, what? That was like a moment in time in our lives 23 years ago. What is this? And so he's like, yeah, you're in there. So he came back and he told me that story. And I just think that's so funny. That
is so awesome.
How small the world it is.
Great story.
Okay, let's
I don't know if other people, the people out there watching, I guess Grant probably knows, so I guess we don't have to go into the whole Orpheum story. Never mind. Let's move on.
All right, let's talk about, we're going to talk about the solo. Actually, can we listen from the bridge of I Found a Dime and go through the solo where it goes back into the third verse?
Yeah, take it to the bridge.
Let's do the bridge. We should probably do the bridge and then do the solo.
Okay, let's just talk about the bridge. Let's listen to it, then we'll talk about it. All right, here's the bridge.
My checkbook. The funny thing about hidden things is once they're found, their value seems to rise above its retail cost. Its equity is never lost, but not in cases like this dime. Its value withers throughout time, so place it in a wooden box and never forget your grandma.
Love this verse.
That is a sweet. Those are some sweet lyrics. Like, that's my favorite part of the whole song.
Yeah. It's funny because it's like a financial rundown on kind of how like inflation works, and but done in kind of a poetic way. I got this one verbatim. So the funny thing about hidden things is once they're found, their value seems to rise above their retail cost. Their equity is never lost, but not in cases like this dime. Its value withers throughout time. So place it in a wooden box and never forget your grandma. And it
Maybe
should
that value is even more remembering your grandma than the value of the dime. It's immeasurable in value.
that's where this whole song ties it together. It's like it's telling you about like it's weird, you know, Danny, you found this dime that fell out of a couch. You were wondering about the value of it. I bet it was really missed. And then it all ties in. This is your grandma's couch. And just like just like finding things that are valuable, you know, your grandma was valuable. Let's never forget her. I love how the whole song ties together in that moment in the bridge.
Right. I
Although
love
it's-
about music and about writing songs is when you can get them to all tie together like that. I mean, you start out writing it and you have no idea where it's going to go in most cases. I don't. I just start writing something and kind of follow the journey. But this one, we really ended up on an awesome spot to tie it all together. So,
You know,
Yeah.
it's too bad you didn't find a deed to some real estate though in your grandma's couch.
I know.
I found a deed in my grandma's couch. Whoa, I bet someone really missed this deed.
It's worth way more.
Funny thing, I never published the
back
song.
then.
No one ever heard that one. Never told anyone I found the deed.
She bought
Um,
it for $5. Now it's worth 18 million.
See, that would have been a great song.
That would have been a good song. I love this one too, like where the song comes dynamically. Like the song is big from the get-go. Like the downbeat,
jumps in.
bum. I mean, it is like triple forte coming right out of the gates. And then like this part comes way, way down. I mean, it's just coming down to a single vocal. I mean, even throughout the song, there's these big harmonies, multiple vocals going on. And then all of a sudden it comes down to a single vocal, an electric guitar. Mike starts bringing in some fills, and then Danny's got the synth bass happening, which we didn't always have synth bass. I love the production on this whole section. Mike, why don't you tell us? Because that honestly, the production on this bridge formed the way it did maybe in the last 2 months.
Yeah, well, I mean, you kind of did a preliminary mix on this years and years ago when you were recording the parts after we did the original stuff at Mike Green's studio. So that was, I don't know, 10 years ago or whatever. And so you had your vocal kind of bouncing back and forth originally, didn't you?
Oh, I did? I don't remember.
I'm gonna have to listen to it again. There was something in there that you did that gave me the idea to have your vocal kind of bouncing around. And as luck would have it, I got a free plugin from, who was it from? Can't remember, but it was for it was a plugin that bounced the sound around. It was really cool. It's a cool plugin. So I was able to employ that plugin to get your vocal doing that. Added some kind of spacey, reverby, phasey stuff to it to make it sound kind of like this is maybe like a thought in your head, you know, bring the vocals down, have it spacey sounding, you know. And then I can't remember why I did the stuff to the bass, but it sounded cool and I thought it worked.
I loved it.
So sometimes you got to just throw something against the wall and see if it sticks, and that stuck. So
Was that because I've got a synthesizer pedal that does similar sounds, or was that added to it? I can't remember.
you may have done something to it, and I think I amped it up a little bit.
So
So
I was
yeah,
gonna-
that's a good call because you may have already had it on there.
I was gonna say, like, that synth sounds exactly like Danny's, what is it, a green Digitech synth pedal or something like that.
Yeah.
So it sounds like something that we've done before. Maybe we had done that in the studio at some point, but
There you go.
it sounds great. And then it comes way down and then it just launches into the solo. Why don't we
Before we
Yeah.
launch into the solo, so when I was doing the artwork, a lot of times to get ideas, I'll do some research about different things. So I did this research on dimes, and I found this thing that said the symbolism related to finding dimes. And it says some people believe finding dimes is a sign from a deceased loved one offering comfort or a sense of being watched over.
Whoa.
That's
And
the
I had never even put any of that together before, but I thought that was pretty dang sweet.
That's
You think
awesome.
about being
Yeah.
watched over by your loved ones that have gone before you. So
what a interesting coincidence, because I don't think that was ran through your head at all, right? When you originally wrote it.
not at all. Nope. I didn't even know about it until, we wrote this song
20 years ago?
at least, probably 20 years ago.
Probably
I didn't
more.
learn that
Probably more than
until
20 years ago.
I probably learned that a couple months ago. So it's pretty cool.
That is cool.
And I'm glad that the artwork is actually of dimes, so people know that's what we're talking about, and not like a dime bag.
Yeah, exactly. Because that
Originally-
would be worth a lot more.
A dime bag in your grandma's couch. Grandma.
All right, let's jump into that solo now. Speaking of getting high on dime bags, let's listen to this solo. It's going to take you there. Here we go.
So let's sit in a wooden box and never forget your grandma. I found a dime.
Yeah, that's a
Oh, good.
that was
Love
a
your
fun
use
solo.
of the triplet feel in your solo.
Triplet.
Yeah. But there's different versions. You got your 8th note triplets, and what is there, like a 16th note triplet in there too?
It probably is, but I'm not fast enough to play 16th note triplets. So,
Those guitar solos in this song are just epic. They sound so awesome.
thank you.
And with the guitar harmonies, I don't know how you came up with all that stuff, but they sound awesome. That set this song off. So nice work.
Thank you. Yeah, I remember recording all the guitar parts actually for this one. I remember being in the studio at Encore Academy and just tracking and just putting down ideas and seeing what worked. And like originally all this other guitar work was never in the original song. Like we didn't have all these like licks in between the vocal lines and licks leading into the I don't know, they just weren't part of the original recording, which but I got into the studio and I'm just like, what if I just like was totally untasteful and just did whatever all the time, and just started putting these ideas down. And I'm like, these guys are not going to like this. They're going to be like, this is too much. There's too much going on. So I went for it and I said, well, I'll share it with the guys and see what they think. And I think I didn't do the guitar solo first. I did all the little guitar lines in between the vocals and whatnot, and little harmonies happen in behind the chorus. And you guys liked it. Thank heavens, like you heard it and you're like, oh, that sounded really cool. I think it added a lot of energy and we could feel that. And then I don't like that guitar solo. It just honestly, when I wrote it, I was just in the studio. I probably spent like 4 hours just sitting in the studio, like laying down ideas, finding a direction to go with it. It didn't just like flow. We had never done it before. Like it wasn't part of the original recording. I don't know. I don't even remember how we did it. Did Wim play a solo over the top of this? I mean, we have a version.
We must have, yeah. We have that version of it. So we must have practiced it together, but I can't remember what it sounded like.
I can't either. Why don't we actually listen to that? Because I just sat in the studio, laid down ideas, put enough of them together, and luckily it just kind of came out and it worked. But speaking of which, why don't we listen to that we have 2 other versions of this song, old versions. There is an acoustic version of it, and there's also from the Return to Rock show. So why don't we do the Return to Rock show, because that would have had like the guitar solo and everything in it, and this would have been Wim playing on it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay, here we go. This is and this has an awesome, we got to listen for the intro. Danny wrote this amazing epic intro to Dime, and here it is.
We
we wanted to have a good intro for this song, so I thought really hard, and I think this is pretty much like the best one I've ever thought up. So, and I brought it to these guys, and they're like, "Yeah, that is freaking sweet." I found a dime wedged between a cushion in my grandma's couch. She died about a year ago, so we are cleaning her house out. And I bet the time has been there so long when me and Mike picked up the couch. I saw the shiny coin drop out. Right now it's worth at least 10 cents. If we can try to figure out all the stuff that you could buy way back then. I found a dime in a couch's crack. It's worth less right now than it was way back. When it was lost, I am sure it was missed. Just like the time when I lost, just like the time when I lost my checkbook.
I'm gonna fast forward to the solo since we were talking about it. Let's see what that sounds like.
And never forget your grandma. I found a dime in a
Not our best
Those are great.
presentation, but but yeah, so it was much more of a straight driven rock song. That was from the Return to Rock show, which would have been what, 2005, 4?
Somewhere around there, 4 maybe.
2000. Return to Rock was all the way back then. I
Yeah.
guess so.
Yeah, it was about February of 03 was when I had to leave, and it would have been probably summer of 04. I remember after the Return to Rock show, I remember walking out feeling like we had played a great show. We walked past some kid that was like, "Man, I really like the old man Johnson. They're too loud now."
I remember that too. And that kid was the only one that bought a shirt because we had one shirt left and it was like way too small. And he wanted to buy it anyway. And he was like all in this like tight shirt. And then he was like, "Oh, I liked the old man Johnson with the acoustic guitars."
Awesome.
The other thing I was thinking of about that solo section. So we must change keys when we go into the bridge. Is that right? And then we come out of the solo section, we go bump, 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 bump.
Yeah.
And then we change again, right? We change back right there, which
I'd have to
I
go
think
through it with a
pretty cool
guitar
sounding.
again. Yeah, I think it is cool. I don't know what the key. I honestly don't know. I couldn't think of what we were doing. It sounds definitely like it changes keys, but I'd have to go back and see exactly what we were doing. But yeah, I think the final production really came out awesome. Just so you guys know, we have just under 5 minutes, so we'll need to stop it and start it again once we reach that point. So we get enough and put it all together.
Hey, Jordan, for the gearheads that are listening, what amps, what miking techniques did you use for your guitar solo?
So I got lazy on this one. This is straight up out of an amp modeler. I took it straight out of a Boss Katana, which is actually, oh, you can't see it. It's behind that amp. It's out of a Boss Katana, straight out the back of it. No microphone, no anything.
It
And
sounds so good.
it does sound good. I think it sounds good. It's emulating a Rat distortion
Pedal.
pedal. So I don't know. I think it sounds good. It's not my most pure, tube amp tone or anything like that, but it's just like a really rock driven tone that serves the song.
I think it sounds great. Sounds fantastic.
But before I took it back to the studio and sat and dubbed my guitar solo, which I don't normally do. I don't normally dub guitar solos. For the most part, I improvise my guitar solo. So this one was really fun because it gave me a lot of time to really think about it and try and be clever with it. But we originally started this recording at Mike Green's studio 2011, 2012, right?
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
And what was the recording process and mixing process like?
Well, it was just mainly to get drums when we went there originally.
Aaron Hubbard engineered.
Aaron Hubbard engineered everything. Yep. And then it went to you after that, after we got those. And then did we do Danny's bass before you did guitar stuff?
Yeah, we brought it back to
I think we
Academy and redid the bass and guitar, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's right.
And
we might have redone bass a couple of times because we lost them over the years, and
we just
kind of whittled away at this song.
We originally retracked bass in my basement at my house.
I remember that.
Oh, that's right.
And we lost those files, or they're somewhere, and so then we went back to Encore. So we started tracking in 2011. We probably re-recorded bass 2013, 14 in my basement, lost those files, and then we probably finally came back and tracked it. Was it during COVID?
It was COVID. It was right after COVID.
We were wearing masks.
Middle of it. Yeah.
Yeah.
So 2001, 2002, probably 2001.
You mean 2021?
Probably, because we probably had the most amount of time at that time to do it. So yeah, so 10 years after we started tracking it, we finally came back to finalize recording everything. And then it's been basically, I don't think we didn't add anything new to this one, right? We didn't track anything new anyway. Like the mix was new, yes, but we didn't track any new parts since 2001. So we've just been
2021
or 2021, excuse me. Since 2021, it's just been sitting in a hard drive, right?
Yep.
And we haven't done anything with it until 3 months ago.
Yeah.
And then Mike, you took it into your studio where you're sitting right now.
Yep.
Mike has engineered the last 3 songs that we've
mixed
done.
them, yeah. Yep.
And Mike has really come into his own on being a mix engineer. Really good stuff. And I personally think this is probably the cleanest, biggest OMJ song we've recorded when it sonically speaking. Don't you guys think?
It is big, yes.
I agree. Yeah, it sounds great. He did a great job on it. So
thanks. There's a lot of energy on it. It's a song that, just like you were saying earlier, just grabs you right from the beginning, kind of the Tom Petty, don't bore us, get to the chorus philosophy, and just try to make it sound big. So it was a fun song to work on. Certainly challenges with tracks spread out over the years like that. But I think it's come together quite nice. I was real happy with it.
Yeah. And people don't realize, well, maybe some people do. A lot of musicians, if they're listening to this, would definitely know like that recording and mixing process. But like the amount of mixes that Mike has put in on this one, on all of our songs, actually, I don't know how many mixes total. How many exports do you think?
Oh, go.
At least on this one, Mike. Like how many times do you mix it and say, hopefully this is the one?
Over how many years have I been working on this one? I mean, you sent me, well, maybe not years on this one, but you sent me the files not too long ago, now that I think about it. So I bet I put in 30 mixes where I bounce it all the way down, put it on my phone and listen to it with some different headphones, or run it out to my truck and listen to it on the truck speakers, run back downstairs with a note of what I want to change, try it again. Nope, that didn't do it. Try it again. It's definitely a process of trial and error for me, because I'm not, super proficient at mixing. So it teaches me a lot by doing that,
Yeah, I think that's the process I've done for years. I mean, when we first started in 2000, I was handling the mixing and it was the same process then, except I had to burn a CD every single time.
Wow, that got expensive.
Remember, we had to buy that CD burner that cost like $1,000 or something.
It was so stupid. It was so stupid, but that was the only way we could do it. So we'd burn a CD, take it out of the car. Oh, this is garbage. And it's funny, like the process, I don't know, it really hasn't changed. And even when you go to a big fancy studio with a big fancy engineer, it's always the same thing. Hey, let me send you a mix. Listen to it in your car. Listen to it on your AirPods. Let me know what you think. And then to send me your notes. It's like the same process still. So it's a lot of work that goes into it. And I mean, I think, we could have released it a long time ago, and we had some good mixes from not that long ago, but I wouldn't call us perfectionists by any means. Like, I think like we're willing to hold on to some warts in songs. Like, there's been some songs that we've released. I think it was Spider Bomb has some like tempo issues and stuff like that, like throughout the song, not pointing blame. It was just like the way that we recorded it live and did everything live. And some of that stuff is just really nice. That stuff is what kind of makes the song what it is. So it's not as if we're mixing to get rid of all the warts, but I think we also want to do the best we can to put out a really cool sounding, interesting sounding mix and recording. I think this one's really interesting. I really like our use of harmonies. The harmonies were really big, really tight throughout the song. Back and forth vocally, Danny and I switching up who's singing what. Like the guitars are huge and thick. The bass is huge and thick. I think from a drum standpoint, like the toms are gigantic. The snare is really prominent in the mix. I don't know. I think it was really well put together. Not to toot our own horns. I like the recording on this one.
Sounds good. We've come a long way.
Yep, we definitely have.
What would you think if, let's say Simon Cowell heard this, and then he said,
a bit pitchy.
"You're the pitchy one. Maybe you can shove it up your butt."
Speaking of the progress of this song, do you guys want to hear an acoustic version of this song?
Let's do it.
All right, let me find it. Dime acoustic.
This was recorded in.
This is from August 7th, 2011. So this would have been leading up to us going into the studio to record.
Oh, this was a prep.
Okay.
This was a prep for going into the studio.
So what was it? Where do you remember where we recorded it?
We recorded it in my
house.
house in Pleasant View.
Or north
in the
Ogden.
basement.
Wait a minute. In Pleasant View, was this around the time we did Suicide is Painless then?
I think so.
Yeah, because that intro to Suicide is Painless is in that house.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay.
I wonder, could it even be the same day that we recorded that intro?
Maybe that's why we were together, was to work on this song, and then we did the intro to Suicide is Painless. That could have been.
Yeah.
Okay, here we go. And who's on? Is it just us three, I assume?
I don't know if Sam's with us or not. You have to listen to it and see.
Okay, here we go.
I found a dime wedged between the cushions in my grandma's couch. She died about a year ago, so we are cleaning her house out. And I bet the dime had been there so long when me and Mike picked up the couch. I saw the shiny coin drop out right now. It's worth at least 10 cents, but can you try to figure out all the stuff that you could buy way
Yep, scrap. It's worthless right now than it was way back when it was lost. I am sure it was missed, just like the time I lost my checkbook. I lost my checkbook. I lost my checkbook.
Okay, I remember
forgot all
we were
about that.
listening. This was not us.
I forgot about that too.
This was all you, Danny. Was this
That was
around?
me.
Was this around the same time you were in the Hard Hearted?
No, I think this was after or in between.
You recorded all this. I wasn't there. That's not me. That's you playing guitar. And
No, that's you playing guitar, but we recorded it. And I remember that I wanted to try out some ideas for a different.
was I there?
Chord-
I don't think I was there when you recorded those vocals though. Because I remember.
Oh, maybe
receiving this
maybe
file.
that's the case.
I remember receiving this file and then hearing those vocals for the first time. I'm like, oh, okay, he took a different direction on those.
Yeah, maybe that's the case.
We
'Cause
recorded this in your basement. You had a Tascam digital recorder. Is that right?
No, I did at one point, but not. I recorded this on a computer.
Was this in your basement? An unfinished basement? For some reason, I'm thinking there was an unfinished basement where we were recording this stuff.
Yeah, that sounds.
It was a semi-unfinished basement.
I remember
one-
concrete.
It was a crappy basement.
This wasn't in Clinton?
No, this was in Pleasant View.
Huh.
But yeah, I think what we did was we all got together and I recorded the vocals later.
Okay.
So that's probably what we did.
Let's see what happens in the rest of the acoustic
I forgot all about that little.
moment in our life, slice of life. Here's around where the solo would kick in.
Just like the when it was lost. I lost my checkbook. I lost my checkbook.
There's the bridge. Yeah, it's just the music to it.
Yeah, I don't think we ever finished it up.
Oh, just a dime and a
Yeah, come out of it, right? There was no solo at the time. So
Yeah.
yeah, that's for anyone watching, for Grant. Thank you, Grant, for watching. That's our process. It's eternal. It's a 20-year writing session to try and get it to the point where it is. Takes a minute sometimes.
20 years from now, I'll be pretty old if I'm still around.
Yeah, think about that. 20 years. How old will I be? 67.
Oof.
That's when we're gonna record. That's when our next album comes out.
I remember when we were 19 and 20, and we were playing at the Clinton City Fun Days back before they got a big stage. It was just like in the park. And there were these dudes like in Hawaiian shirts and like high tops,
Yep.
like pump high tops. And they were playing Beatles covers. And I remember I said to you, Danny, I said, do not let me play music past 40. And you said to me at the time, you said, no, man, I hope I play music forever. I'm not going to stop. I don't want to stop. I think it's, and I remember you said something like, I was kind of joking around, ribbing, like, oh, these guys are too old. They shouldn't be playing. And you were like, no, this is really cool that these guys are still playing. Like they're still playing and having fun. And I remember it kind of put me in my place a little bit. But then ironically, I stopped basically when I turned 40. I stopped gigging like in 2020 when I turned 40. And Danny kept playing. Danny is still playing to this day. So
Yeah,
Where's
I
your
got
Hawaiian
a
shirt?
Hawaiian shirt too.
and you have wear some pump high tops. Other than that, yeah, this one's a fun one. People should go listen to it on whatever streaming platform they have. I think it's a fun one. I think it's one of the best recorded ones we have. I think it's really poetic. Even though like the lyrics are very straightforward, I think there's a lot of metaphor that's fun in this one. Some great drumming, some great just straight ahead rock and roll, some big guitar solos. It's a fun one to listen to. Listen to that along with some of our other recent releases like Spider Bomb, I'm a Sucker for Your Love. What else am I missing? Is that what we've released so far?
People are loving Sloppy Joe. It's still going strong.
Is it really?
It's
Still going strong. 700 streams in the last 28 days.
What?
Yep.
Why? What a throwaway song. What a weird thing. Sloppy Joe was a
700
pattern.
streams in the last 28 days.
Yep.
That is so strange. We got to figure out why that is.
Well, most of them are coming out of Conroe, Texas.
Conroe, Texas.
Yeah.
Maybe we got picked up on a radio station there
Like 20 times a day.
from Conroe, Texas.
Well, not all Conroe, Texas.
I think it's one
but
listener.
I
One
think it was
dude.
17 times in the last 28 days is what it was when I looked at the stats last time. So
That's
from Conroe, Texas.
Conroe, Texas, 17 times in the last 28 days.
And from other places, it's like 200.
Let's bring up the statistics here. Let's find the song. Give me just a second. There it is. Sloppy Joe.
I like these.
You
new
like those?
weekends.
Okay.
Yeah, me
718
Enjoying those.
streams in the last 28 days. That's up 11%.
718.
Yep. Our day with the biggest amount of streams in one day was May 2nd. 41 streams of that song.
Isn't that
in one
Sam
day.
Potter's birthday eve?
Well, yeah.
Just got it on repeat. 680
Everybody was-
streams in the United States.
Everyone was
30
getting ready for Sam's birthday, and they were just listening to that one.
Yeah, 17 from Conroe, 15 from Houston, 15 from Indianapolis, 13 Chicago, 13 from Lehigh. Somebody in Lehigh is blasting it.
Listening to us in Lehigh.
13 in Minneapolis, 10 in Salt Lake City, 8 Omaha, 7 Dallas, 7 New Orleans, 7 Pittsburgh. We're all over the place. Calgary.
What do you guys want to do with our first Spotify check? Buy a gumball?
4 in Canada, Toronto. Burlington, Canada.
We could pay off the fees for getting our stuff placed on
Putting our stuff
Spotify.
on Spotify.
You know how long that's going to take you guys? It
Our
was
first-
$29.
our first check-
$29 for
Our first
this
check from
song.
Spotify should reimburse us for putting our music onto Spotify.
And my DistroKid account, I'll show you how much money I have in my DistroKid account.
This is for all the music you have up.
This is for all of the music I have, which is it's a lot of music that people have split the songwriting or the money with me. Okay, you guys ready for this?
This is some inside baseball.
Can you see it? Nope. There we go.
$13.46. That's
That's not
big
bad.
combo
And you
bill.
got to notice that there's no withdraw either. That's all the money I've ever made.
Leave it in there. Someday it'll be $50.
Someday it'll be almost 14.
Now, is that an interest-bearing account? Because if so,
I-
who knows?
I don't think so.
Oh, that's too bad.
I had to claim it on my taxes.
Oh, did you really?
Yeah.
What did you get to a significant amount?
No.
You
It was something like that. It was like $18, but they sent me a tax form.
oh, so they reported it for you, so you had to.
Yeah.
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 Right.
Thanks, DistroKid.
Yeah.
So we could talk real quickly about some of the other stuff that we've done recently. If anyone is still listening to this podcast at this point, we were up at Weber State a couple of weeks ago now, right?
Yep.
And we started recording an oldie but a goodie, the song called "The Radio's On." That was fun. What did you guys think of that session?
It was interesting.
Yeah.
The room the drums are in is completely dead. So that's a different vibe when you're playing drums because the drums so much of the drums is the room that they're played in.
Yeah.
And when you get no feedback from the walls, it feels really strange.
Yeah.
So that was an interesting place to play drums.
Yeah.
It was fun.
That,
Oh, go ahead.
that
Dan.
studio was really just decked out with the nicest stuff. So it feels pretty cool just being there and having all that gear to your access or whatever. And it's nice having someone there that knows how to use it too, so that we could just focus on playing and not have to worry about trying to run everything.
Yep.
Yeah, those are fun sessions. We go up to Weber State where we've been invited now 2 times, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it's Aaron Hubbard's program up there that he's running up there at Weber State, and basically letting audio engineering students come in and set up a recording session and just get that experience of setting up mics and hauling gear. And they're really nice people. Everyone in that room was really fun, to participate in that process with. So it was cool. I played an amplifier there. Look, if you see right here, I literally bought this new guitar rig based off of that recording session.
Wow.
So
cool.
I'm really excited about this new rig. It sounds really fantastic. And it was because I used Aaron's, it's not that same exact amplifier, but it was the same brand maker of that amplifier.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So he had I think it was a 20 watt Seriatone lunchbox, which I don't know what it's modeling it after, but it just sounded so good. And it reminded me that Seriatone just made this beautiful amplifier that Hubbard used to have. Actually, this amplifier is the amplifier I recorded on at the session where we originally recorded Dime. I recorded on
Oh, really?
on this, I mean, not this one, but this model amplifier. And I loved it. I absolutely loved it. I still re-recorded it because my performance wasn't as good as I wanted it. So I ended up re-recording it back here at the studio. But that was the amplifier that I absolutely loved. I thought it was just gorgeous. And so now I'm super stoked to have one of my own. So it's kind of funny how.
So is that a modeling amplifier?
No, it's a clone of a Dumble amplifier. So
Sweet.
yeah, it was the Dumble ODS Overdrive.
I didn't even know that Dumbledore played guitar.
Yeah, he was
Me
a
neither.
whiz. He was a whiz at the guitar. Yeah, so it's a Dumble amp, basically modeled after the ODS 100 series, the HRM series, and so it's supposed to be a point-to-point model of it, and it seriously sounds. It is the best sounding amplifier I personally have played. Like every time I play it, I love the tone. And I've had just a handful of sessions. I just got it just last week. I've had a handful of sessions to play on it. And every time I play it, I'm like, I don't know how it would sound better. This sounds so good.
That's
awesome.
How much does an amplifier like that run?
Wattage wise, 100 watts.
I mean, like money wise.
I think you can buy them new now for just under $2,000. But what's funny is they come to you disassembled. I don't know for sure, but I think it's so that the guy can get around trademark issues, copyright issues probably. And so you buy the amp and it arrives to you disassembled. You have to build the amp.
You have to build it.
Yeah. So I ended up buying mine. That was actually one of the reasons I never bought one, because I'm like, I'm not going to build an amp. I have no idea what I'm doing. So I bought this one used off a guy out of Florida. And
wow.
And it's so much more powerful. Why anyone needs 100 watts? I don't know what you could do with 100 watts. Like you'd have to be in an arena. It's so loud. I don't know if that just makes me that old, but 100 watts. So I've got it at half power, 50 watts, and I've got it turned up to 3. You know what I mean? I need to get an attenuator. That's what I'm going to get next, so I can really use the sound of it. But I was in here and I have it at 50 watts. I turned it up to like 3 or 4. I stepped out of the room to play at the studio and played it, and it's shaking the walls. And I'm like, what is this level of power? Who would play with this much wattage?
Yeah.
So
yeah,
awesome.
My last amp was a 22 watt amp, and I barely use that either. So who knows? Cool. Mike, how have our podcasts been going? How are people enjoying our podcast. You wanted to talk about the
I'm
how
curious
many
what the
people
numbers are.
watching?
Yeah.
Well,
Let's do a test. If anybody's still watching this podcast at this point, the secret word is octopus.
yes.
So if you type that word in somewhere, we're going to send you maybe we won't send you something. We'll just give you a hey there, nice job, guy.
If you're still watching this, post something octopus related or octopus adjacent,
Yeah.
so everyone knows.
like a
Or so
squid.
we
You
know.
could do a squid.
Yeah, squid. I would say squid is octopus adjacent.
Squids are so gross.
Anything under the water is gross.
Cover
Nothing
of
is not for
Ween's
show.
the Mollusk.
Yeah, that's cool. That's a cool
that.
cover.
Okay, well, awesome, guys. Glad we finally got this one out. Hopefully, people go out and listen to it a ton. And there's the backstory to Dime. And I think we need to come back and do this. We need to finish off Life Saving Apparatus. Don't we have one more song? Bathtub.
Oh yeah, we never did that one. That's true.
We should come back and do Bathtub, and then yeah,
My
we'll
girlfriend left me for the guy who cleans the pools. No, we did that
we
one.
touched
Did
on
that.
that one with Wims, the Wim episode. We included it.
That's
Okay.
right.
Awesome,
And then
guys.
we'll have
We'll
to just write a new song for the next one after that.
write something new.
I know.
Weird.
We
I
should
know.
plan
Just
a
think about it.
we should try to get a gig this summer.
Why don't, if you're still watching this and you've already made a comment on octopus or octopus adjacent things, you should post below where the ideal place to see Old Man Johnson in 2025 would be.
It's probably in Texas. If you know anyone in those towns in Texas,
Willing to pay for us to come out and play for him.
We'll have at least one rabid fan out there.
we'd love to do it.
Okay, cool, guys. Good times. We'll catch up later.
Awesome. Thanks, man.
Okay.
Okay,
See
we'll
ya.
see you. Bye.